No, I don't. Nobody rushed me. I got like, let me see. It's 80,000.
Okay.
I got like 80,000.
I sit here with sadness today to report to you that I'm incredibly disappointed in one of my all-time favorite fighters, my brother, Floyd.
Imagine waking up one day thinking you're a billionaire and the next, your real estate empire turns out to be as real as your undefeated record in Monopoly. That's Floyd Mayweather world, a place where the bling is loud, the flexes are louder, and the truth is whispering from behind a stack of unpaid lawsuits. And just when you think it can't get crazier, Stephen A. Smith drops a bombshell and suddenly the police are showing up, with Floyd Mayweather running for cover.
Just pay him. Like, I don't know why, like, he's mad at the media. It's like, oh, you guys are making things up. No, it's leaked that you asked to pay after this fight. Like, you make all this money. If I was Mayweather, not only would I pay them on time, the IRS, I'd tip them. I'd be like, hey, here's what I owe you. Here's a little bit. Get your woman something nice, all right? How was Christmas for your kids? Oh, you're Jewish? Convert just for this Christmas.
Let's just get this straight. Floyd Money Mayweather, once the walking definition of opulence, is now tiptoeing through a minefield of financial mess-ups like he's shadowboxing bankruptcy. At this point, the only thing he's dodging better than punches is the IRS. For a guy who spent most of his career talking about how rich he is, he sure seems to be doing a disappearing act worthy of Houdini. Except instead of pulling rabbits out of hats, he's pulling excuses out of thin air.
Rumor has it Money Mayweather Jr., TMT, is going broke, bankrupt. Is this true? Can someone explain to me how on earth do you spend or waste 400 million? That's almost half a billy. Half a billy. Granted, I get it. When you have that type of money, you want to spoil yourself, you want to indulge yourself, do that thing. But still, have money management. Be conscious. You're not Mansa Musa, bro. You don't have unspeakable wealth. You don't have mountains of gold out there, bruv. Your money is finite. If you don't...
Remember when Floyd bragged about owning 62 buildings in New York City? Yeah, apparently so does Business Insider, and they'd like to see some receipts. Turns out those buildings don't exactly belong to him. Unless by own, he meant he saw them once on Zillow. What he actually did was sink $42 million, 0 cents, into someone else's portfolio, like a clueless Shark Tank contestant with a shopping addiction. But sure, Floyd, tell us again how all those buildings belong to you? Funny, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, chaos broke out. And I'm not talking about legit, bona fide boxing, pure boxing chaos. I'm talking about the kind of stuff.
And while we're on the topic of lies, let's talk about the mansion-sized elephant in the room, that pesky little $22 million 0 cents IRS bill. That's not a typo, that's 22 million reasons to stop flaunting your diamond-encrusted toothbrushes and start checking your mail. Apparently, the guy who calls himself Money couldn't pay his taxes, which is funny considering he once filmed himself throwing stacks of cash at the camera like it was a strip club for attention. The irony? The IRS doesn't take Instagram flexes as payment.
Floyd Mayweather fought another exhibition against Gotti last Saturday. A real the crowd booing in the arena at the end. But in the middle of the second round, Floyd literally had the referee swapped out. He didn't like that the referee told him to stop hitting behind the head. Floyd is used to having the refs do whatever he wants, and he wasn't getting his way this time. It was so embarrassing. Floyd, you're 50 years old. You're a legend in the sport. I've stood up for you in countless interviews, including Shannon Sharp's podcast last week. But you have to stop embarrassing yourself with these exhibitions. I know life is hard. I know life is expensive. But come on, dude, put your legacy first. Nobody wants to remember you like this. And it gets worse. Your jeweler filed a lawsuit against you in Miami. And many are saying you're gonna have to sell off your assets. I hate seeing this happen, bro.
Oh, but it gets juicier. Mayweather, the man who could dodge jabs like a magician, is now allegedly dodging jewelers, business partners, and exhibition opponents waiting for their paychecks. Yes, the same Floyd who used to swim in Versace robes is now being sued for not paying up after fights. Apparently, when it comes to writing checks, his fists aren't the only things that don't connect. The guy has become a human Ponzi scheme in Gucci slides. He's staging fights that don't count, in countries that don't care, there? For crowds that just want to see if he'll trip over his own ego. These aren't boxing matches anymore. They're cash grabs disguised as combat sports. And Floyd, he's the circus clown pretending it's still a Vegas main event. But let's not forget the petty drama, because what would Floyd be without a little high school lunchroom energy? His former protege threatens to knock him out. Business insiders are exposing his so-called empire, and his response?
Money made, money made, money made all day. You know, right here, a light million. Over there, counting up another million over there. Walk with me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take you into my life. So Andrew Jackson, of course, is on the 20. Benjamin Franklin right here. You know, money made all day. We in the bank, doing what we do best, counting money.
You'd think someone who claims to be a financial genius would at least hire a decent PR team. But nope. Instead, we get cryptic Instagram videos where he rants about generational wealth while failing to pay people who literally fought him in a ring. Yeah, real legacy stuff, Floyd. It's honestly tragic in a slapstick comedy kind of way. Watching Mayweather trying to hold his empire together is like watching someone use duct tape on a sinking yacht. The man went from being the king of the ring to the emperor of overdrafts. His net worth might still look shiny from afar, but up close, it's got more cracks than his veneers after a bar fight.
If you don't invest it, if you don't manage it, you'll lose it, bro. And if it's true, he's lost it. I mean, I don't know. I heard he was investing. I heard he bought like a block in Manhattan or something. So I was like, oh yeah, he's doing good with his money. I was really proud of him. Now I'm hearing this. I'm like, wow. Then I'm hearing he's always gambling, buying some expensive nonsense for no reason. Cars which he doesn't even drive. I'm like, why you do all that, bro? You could be, oh my God, could have been a mogul, bro. You could have invested. You could have had so much money. That money would have been making more money. He could have been on his way to be a billionaire.
And then came the cherry on this collapsing cake. Stephen A. Smith, of all people, strutting onto the scene like a walking soundbite in a three-piece suit, dropping a reality check with all the subtlety of a steel chair at WrestleMania. The man who can turn a halftime report into a Greek tragedy decided he had seen enough of the circus. According to the whispers echoing through every sports talk segment and social media feed, Smith might have finally said what everyone else was thinking, but too polite, too brand conscious, or too spineless to say out loud, that this whole Money Mayweather saga is no longer a glittering spectacle. It's a high-budget, slow-motion, ego-fueled meltdown. Because let's be real, when Stephen A., the master of dramatic pauses, raised eyebrows, and sentences that end in verbal fireworks, calls you out, that's not just criticism, that's a televised intervention. And when he's the voice of reason in the room, you know the room is on fire. We're talking about the guy who once nearly combusted on air over a bad Knicks trade, now calmly diagnosing the Mayweather money machine as a sinking luxury yacht with no captain and way too many mirrors.
One of the best investments that I did was New York real estate. So it started off with 7 figures, and I was getting a certain amount of money every month. When I first gave them $5 million, I was getting $50,000 a month. So I said, yo, the money kept coming on the 18th every month. 50,000 would come in. I still was competing. I still was fighting. I still was active, and I still was making crazy money. I told the guys, well, I'm gonna bring y'all another 8 figures. I said, I'm gonna bring you guys 8 figures now. I know I gave you guys 7 figures, but I'm gonna bring you guys 8 figures. It was paying off. So what I did was I went and dumped 9 figures on them. When you see me, you see the cars, you see the flashy. It's a lot that comes along with that. A lot of smart moves that's behind the scenes.
Smith, never one to whisper when he can thunder, pretty much put the entire operation on blast. And in doing so, he gave voice to a sentiment that's been simmering under the surface like a bad undercard bout. That watching Mayweather in 2025 is like watching a billionaire argue with his own legacy in front of an audience that paid $59.99 to feel uncomfortable. It's performance art, minus the art, or at least more honest. So yes, the cherry has landed, ladies and gentlemen, and it's loud, dramatic, and dipped in Stephen A. Smith's signature brand of sports sermonizing. In the theater of absurd that is modern boxing, sometimes it takes a preacher in a tailored suit to tell the truth in between the punchlines.
But some of this stuff has got to stop. You want to get Conor McGregor in the ring for an exhibition match, all right, that's fine. You know, kind of sold that. It was great marketing. He's not a boxer, but hey, he was a knockout artist in the UFC. I get it. John Gotti III, I don't know anything about him. I'm not trying to disrespect him. And yes, I'm being smart. I'm not trying to disrespect the grandson of a mobster. Fair enough. But what I'm trying to say is this. When you're great, when you're elite, not just anybody deserves to be in your...
Even Logan Paul, yes, that Logan Paul, is dragging Floyd Mayweather through court like he's dragging his reputation through the mud. And let's be honest, Logan isn't exactly the poster child for moral high ground. We're talking about the guy who built a career on YouTube chaos, Pokemon cards, and high-octane nonsense. Yet here he is, in a twist of irony so rich it could buy a Lambo, looking like the adult in the room while Floyd Money Mayweather fumbles the bag. Again, apparently Mayweather still owes Logan millions from their 2021 exhibition match. Millions. Not a few $1,000s, not some unpaid appearance fee, but enough cash to make even a crypto bro blink. According to Paul, Floyd's been playing a game of financial hide and seek, ducking payments like he ducks actual challenges in the ring these days. And while Mayweather insists that everyone eventually gets paid, emphasis on eventually, Logan is understandably done waiting for his check to arrive via carrier pigeon.
How much does Floyd Mayweather own you?
Oh, yeah.
How much does he own you? Can you tell us how much?
Starting off strong, huh?
Yep.
Millions.
Like...
Let's rewind. The Paul vs. Mayweather event was supposed to be the ultimate spectacle. Boxing meets influencer culture in a fight nobody really asked for but millions paid to see. And now, in the most poetic of plot twists, the aftershock is less about punches thrown and more about lawsuits filed. You'd think a guy nicknamed Money would, pay people. But apparently, Money Mayweather treats contracts like suggestions and payouts like optional side quests in the video game of life. Paul, who once made headlines for body slamming his dignity in Japan's Aokigahara forest, now finds himself in the role of the aggrieved professional suing the most decorated showman in boxing for, of all things, not paying him.
I saw something, Logan Paul, he said you owe him some bread. How you feel about someone making those type of accusations?
That comes with the territory.
Right.
And you gotta realize, when you used to getting, to them, that's real money. And I like YouTube because I don't mind getting a YouTube check.
Shit, we getting a YouTube check.
Right.
This is gonna be a big YouTube check.
Yeah, so, the money is not coming fast enough. That's why, when they say money on the back end, as far as pay-per-view, it take a while, And he shouldn't trip. If he feel like he done great numbers and we done record-breaking numbers, then I understand. Nothing comes right away.
Now, don't get it twisted, this isn't about choosing sides, it's more like watching two reality TV villains sue each other while the rest of us pass the popcorn. But it does highlight something kind of wild. In a world where sports and spectacle are merging at warp speed, even the outrageous have limits, and Logan's limit seems to be getting stiffed for a few $1 million by a guy who regularly flaunts diamond-encrusted watches and piles of cash on Instagram like it's Monopoly money. So here we are, Floyd Mayweather, a man who used to make opponents vanish in the ring, is now trying to make Logan Paul's money vanish outside of it. But whatever it is, Mayweather's not just losing money, he's losing lawsuits, and possibly, just maybe, a little bit of that untouchable aura along the way.
You fight Floyd or something?
Yeah.
Did he pay you to lose?
Nah,
What happened?
no, he didn't pay me
him at all.
He didn't pay me. I think I won that fight. I think I won. He didn't knock out a YouTuber in 8 rounds.
Floyd's my homie. He's a cool dude.
Fucking tell him to pay me, bro.
How much you owe you?
Probably between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
At this rate, Mayweather's next big match won't be in the ring, it'll be in bankruptcy court, battling the ghost of his former wealth. And judging by his financial footwork, that fight might actually be competitive. Now let's talk about the Disappearance Act, because while all this unfolds, Floyd's been harder to find than logic in one of his rants. Some say he's laying low to avoid the embarrassment. Others think he's dodging more than just public appearances. With federal raids rumored and former allies turning enemies, it's starting to look a lot lot like Floyd isn't just hiding from cameras, he might be hiding from consequences. And in the ultimate twist of irony, the man who branded himself as money, Mayweather, is now facing the very thing he mocked others for: the possibility of being broke. Not broke like your cousin who forgets his wallet every time you go out. We're talking luxury assets on the chopping block, IRS agents on speed dial, and former employees considering a group chat titled, "Where's my check, Floyd?"
Okay, all right. Under the table deals, cash deals, using my name and likeness without telling me he's using my name and likeness. He's actually being sued for it. There's a lawsuit actually in this state, New York, happening right now. If you're telling me to chalk it up, like pay money. Yeah. You know, he can do what he wants because I'm new to the boxing game. Yeah. Nah, we'll see you in court, bucko. Wow.
But you know what's really wild? Floyd Mayweather keeps flexing like he's still undefeated in life, not just in the ring. The man could be waist deep in lawsuits, swarmed by repo men, and still post a selfie next to a Rolls Royce that probably belongs to the valet. At this point, his Instagram shouldn't even be labeled public figure. It needs a disclaimer that says, "for entertainment purposes only." Because what he's really serving isn't luxury, it's a full-blown fantasy series with less credibility than a reality show. It's giving red flag alert, the jets, the stacks of cash, the watches that could buy a small country. Sure, it's flashy, but flash doesn't pay the bills when the IRS knocks or the lawsuits stack up. And make no mistake, the lawsuits are stacking up.
Yo, if it's true, 50 Cent is gonna have a field day, man. Oh my god. After this beef that started back in 2013, yo, he is gonna be dancing, man. Yo, I hope it's not true. Honestly, I hate seeing people we've looked up to when we were kids fall, bro. I don't like that, yeah? He's arrogant, he's a bit full of himself, but I do respect him, man. He built himself up, I understand it. But he should have been humble and said, you know what, I need money management. I need experts to help me manage my money. Make sure that my money makes money, and problem solved. All your casinos, your clubs, all that would have been making a lot of dough. I hope it's not true, but if it is true, yo, that's sad to hear, man.
And let's not pretend his supposed real estate empire is the saving grace. Floyd hyped up his alleged $400 million 0-cents property portfolio like he was the second coming of Donald Trump, minus the golf courses and unfortunate hair situation. Only problem? No one can find the receipts. No deeds, no public records, no traceable assets. Just more smoke and mirrors. It's like trying to verify a ghost's credit score. For a man who claims to own the block, he sure seems to rent a lot of illusions. The only thing Mayweather seems to actually own: a black belt in misdirection and a doctorate in flexology. Because while the riches might be questionable, his ability to sell the fantasy, absolutely undefeated. This isn't just a financial downfall, it's a masterclass in how to go from mogul to meme. Mayweather went from ducking punches to ducking subpoenas, from throwing cash in strip clubs to getting served in courtrooms. And with every scandal, every expose, every snub from someone who used to respect him, the legacy gets murkier.
Yo, but you can still build yourself up. It's never too late, you know what I mean? Kanye did it. Man fell, he picked himself back up. But when that happens, learn your lesson and manage your money. Don't be arrogant. Don't be like, no, it's my money, I made it. I don't need anyone to give me no advice. You do need advice, bro. We all need advice with money.
It used to be that Mayweather was known for being undefeated in the ring. Now he's undefeated at proving that money can't buy class, foresight, or a clue. The man could sell water to a fish, but apparently couldn't figure out how to keep the water from flooding his own financial boat. So here we are, watching one of the richest athletes in history slowly unravel like one of his glittery shoelaces. Every day brings a new headline, a new lawsuit, a new reminder that arrogance without accountability is a guaranteed ticket to downfall. In the end, Floyd Mayweather may still be rich on paper. So Floyd, if you're watching from one of your maybe real, maybe rented properties, maybe it's time to stop running from the truth. The gloves are off, the fans have questions, and the empire of illusions, it's on its final round.